friends, in this video I am going to be hemming a skirt that has pleats in it, and this is actually for my daughter's Halloween costume. She's going to be Velma, and this skirt is a little bit too long for her. So what I did was I had her try it on, and I kind of marked it in the back because what I was trying to do is make sure that her backside was somewhat covered. So I have those two pins here. So now I'm going to take everything out and just see kind of where we are. And then I also have one pin here in the front. So we're having 5 inches here that is towards the front, and then here towards the back we have 4, less than 5 inches. So we have 4 and 7/8, right? Yes. So we need to have this is where we're starting. I'm freaking confusing myself. So this is where we want to be. This is the seam allowance we need. So yes, I'm going to take off 4 1/4. So I'm going to mark up 4 1/4 all the way around, especially on these pleats. 4 1/4, 4 1/4. So now I am going to go to the side seam, and I just want to use because so part of my frugalness is, oh, can I use this fabric for something else? Probably not. So let me stop kidding myself. So now I'm going to cut off this line here. Make sure here's all of our excess. Again, because like you can use it for a collar, you can use it as facing for him. I would not put facing on here with the pleats. So here is our final skirt. And let me tell you something I was surprised at. That this freaking waistband is shaped. I love this. This is how I want to do all my skirts, where it's a regular waistband in the front, and then you have an elastic waistband in the back. I just love that whole idea. So now that this is hemmed, and so I need to stop manhandling it because it'll start to fray. What I need to do now is I need to mark this hem. So I got a 1 inch hem, and then what I need to do is I'm going to go over to the machine and get this fold over. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just mark the 1 inch hem here. As long as I got a good stretch of straightness, I can use the full 3 inches off the edge of this ruler. Eek. And again, this is I'm just doing a beginner friendly way. So if you're not comfortable with the hemming and making sure that it's even, just how you can use your ruler to make it very easy for you. Here we go. Oh my goodness, I just had a thought. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and I'm just now realizing how my statement could have came across. And so I was telling her that I was thinking about shutting down some of my social media because it's just, you know, the ability to kind of like grow on it without selling. So I don't sell hope. Like there's people, there's people, some of the coaches, business coaches, they sell hope. And the thing is, I'm not saying that what they don't sell, what they're offering doesn't work. I'm just saying it doesn't work for everybody. And so there's, I can't sell hope with sewing. It's either you're going to learn how to do it or you're not going to learn how to do it. But anyways, she was like, oh, well, let me go ahead and find you on Facebook before you close your Instagram page, and I can't find you anymore. And my thought was, oh no, you don't rush to do it, because I'm not going to like shut down my page. I'm just going to, it'll just be my personal Instagram account and not sewing. And I think that probably came off as, I don't want you to find me on Facebook, because that is not what I intended. Okay, so now the stitch is here. So as a beginner, another thing that I would suggest is that what you can do, just to be safe, so that whenever you're folding this over, is that you can take a long stitch, so the longest length stitch on your machine, and you can actually go over this line here and use it as a guide. So I'm going to go and do that right now. Okay, so I've gone to the sewing machine and I've stitched a guideline over the ink. So this is the inside, so here's the outside. You should be able to see it. So now I'm going to go over to the pressing board and start pressing. Take the actual skirt and I'm going to press it on that stitching line. And this is definitely a cheap kind of fabric, polyester fabric, so I don't want to burn it. So I'm going to do it from the underside, because my iron gets hot and this can just get scorched really bad. I use spray starch. Well, this not spray starch. I use this on, just regular hemming stuff. But then, if I really wanted to, get a really nice press, I would use Best Press. I like that. It smells so good. It's almost like I'm a fabric snob. It's like, okay, what? So I gotta make sure this is pressed over. What gets the best press and what gets the store-bought spray. Okay, so now I have a crease in it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this little crease here. This is just a very light crease. I'm not even trying to do anything great here. Because this is a circle skirt, what I don't want to happen is, as I'm trying to press the hem, is that it gets twisted. And I've seen that in garments that someone else may have hemmed, and it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. So I find it more helpful if you just take the time to do the pressing. Get some pins. So I'm trying to tuck all that fraying in there. So this is where we do not. want to get any wrinkles. I'm going to pin this in. And using pins or clips is good because it prevents the fabric from moving and the hem getting wrinkly, because I'm going to be stitching on the outside, but so I want to make sure that my pins are positioned in a way that I can easily pull them out when I'm sewing. So get that set. So again, if my iron had some water in it, I would just be using the steam from the iron. All right. Start pinning these properly. Proper pinning. So last year during prom season, I don't make prom dresses, but my daughter had just gotten her dress in the mail or from delivery the 9:30 the night before the prom. Stressing, that was a stressful day. Was a stressful week trying to wait for when is this dress coming. And so we finally got it. She tried it on and everything looked okay, but I packed up some sewing stuff just in case she was going to need it. You know, something broke or something became loose, because you know sometimes there could be shortcuts. And so, but when so we got to the house and I did not end up having to do any work on her dress whatsoever. But one of the girls who had her dress made by someone who knows someone who knows someone, I'm not sure what that direction, what that relationship was, but her dress was falling apart. Not the whole dress, it was the shoulder. So it had this kind of off the shoulder drape, and the drape was like hanging on by a thread. And then, you know, they were trying to figure out what to do with it. And I'm like, wait a minute, you know, so I come around the corner. I'm like, oh, I'll take care of it. And, you know, I didn't comment. I don't comment on the work because, again, I don't know what this relationship is. And so I ended up, whenever I was doing it, one of the young ladies that was there, I can't remember what she said, but it was definitely a statement that didn't need to be made. But, you know, and I don't fault her for making it. It's how people feel. But it was in defense. She knew the person who made the dress. And I can't remember the exact words, but it was something about making sure to finish it on time and taking on more work than they were able to handle or take on. And so my thing is, you know, I understand that, but if someone is paying you to make a dress or alter a dress, you gotta make sure that it's well done and that there's not going to be any mishaps. So, because my first daughter, whenever I did her dress for her junior prom, and like after we get close to the dress, she decides that she changes her mind on the sleeve, and so I had to like quickly tack it on. First, you know, shaping it and drawing it. Like, it was a dress that I designed, I was going to say I never want to do that again, but let's not say that. But, you know, so I tacked it on her and I told her, I said, you know, don't be out there acting all crazy. You know, dress, you know, dance like a lady, like a young lady. You know, you don't want your dress falling apart. But she's like, yeah, she goes, you know, I'm not going to be doing all that jumping around. Well, guess what? She did all the jumping around and the straps came off. And when she came back, you know, she's like, oh, it was fine. It was fine. It was fine. Oh, here we are 5 years later. Oh my gosh, I was so upset. Okay, so the dress is now hemmed all the way around. So now comes the stitching. So I'm going to start at the side seam as soon as I find it. There we go. So now I'm going to look under here. So this is the seam allowance. So I'm not sewing it. I'm going to sew it from the outside, but I'm looking at where I want my needle to hit, which means that this is going to be a 1/2 inch seam allowance because it's hitting on a 4/8. So now I know that I'm going to watch the 4/8 line. Get my thread tails to the back. 4/8 right here. There we go. And I'm going to be using a 3.5 stitch length. Back stitch. I'm going to take out. Now I'm going to regularly look underneath here just to make sure nothing gets folded out the way. So what happens when you leave pins in too long, it can skew the skirt. I'm going to check. I can't see my hem yet. I'm going to check it in a minute. All right. Yep, I'm getting right at the edge. So a 1/2 inch is very important to keep at the moment. I'm going to make sure that I don't go any larger. I can go smaller. All right, see, it's right along that edge. Look how beautiful that hem is. I got a little thread. I got some issues here. Take out the pin. Check underneath. See, we got a little frame right here. Pull that out. Checking under there. Keeping the fabric. So see, I have this pin in here. I do not want any shifting going on between the hem and the outside of the skirt. So I keep the pin here and I hold it because all this fabric needs to match up apples to apples. And with this hand, I'm smoothing it out so that there's no bubbles here. So now I'm at the end. See how, I don't know if you can tell, but see how there's a slight bubble here? So if I didn't have this pin in here, what happens is this type of bubble can grow and grow and grow, and next thing you know, your hem is really wonky. So by keeping it pinned in, I'm allowing there to be a little bit of movement under the skirt. Now I'm feeling where I have a little, my hem might not be absolutely 1/2 inch under here. I'm feeling it. Go ahead and check underneath. Yep. Looking good. Okay. So here, I'm getting to that bubble area right here. So There's like a little bubble area. So I'm going to take this pin out and it's going to flatten itself out. Alright, take that pin. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my thread tails that was from where we started so it doesn't get caught up in the mess underneath. Oh, there's a thread tail right here. And finish that up. Back stitch. Oh, I forgot. Hold on, my cutter works. Okay, I am back at the table. The hem looks amazing. See how straight it is? You don't want there to be waves. So now I am going back to using my magic faultless. All this time I thought it was spray starch. So now I am going to put the pleats back in here. And I'm going to use my clapper to set that in while I get the next one set up. Let me get the next one. I wonder if I can do two at a time. Look at that. New. So now I gotta go back and do this one because I sprayed it. Maybe put a pin. Maybe if I put a pin. Where are my pins? Right. These. Maybe I could do more at one time. Okay, there we go. This is working out as it should. We don't need no problems from our client who's getting work done for free. For free. Let's set that in there. I'll go ahead and take those pins out. There we go.